Assalamu alaikum. Good afternoon. Minister of Communications, Science and Technology, Honorable Mahmoud Malik Jamal. Chief Executive of Communications Authority of Maldives, Mr. Ilyas Ahmad. CTO of President's Office, Mr. Hamid Shafiu. CEO and Managing Director of Dhiraagu, Mr. Ismail Rashid. Managing Director and CEO of Dhiraagu, Managing Director and CEO of Ooredoo Maldives, Mr. Najib Khan. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. A very warm welcome to all of you for joining us to celebrate this great milestone of Maldives-Sri Lanka cable landing ceremony. It has been a tough year for all of us, and more than ever, we have realized how important it is to stay connected with our loved ones near and far. It gives me great pleasure to host this celebration for both telecom operators in Maldives, Dhiraagu and Ooredoo Maldives, together with Dialog AXIATA Sri Lanka, who have been working to strengthen the diversity paths that connects us with the rest of the world. Without further ado, I would like to invite the MSC Project Manager of Ooredoo Maldives, Mr. Roberto Concepcion Jr., to give an update on the project.
Good afternoon, everyone. Minister of Communication, Science and Technology, Honorable Mohammed Mali Jamal. CEO of Communications Authority of Maldives, Mr. Ilyas Ahmed. CTO of Presidential Office, Mr. Hamid Shafiu. Our CEO and Managing Director of Ooredoo Maldives, Mr. Najib Khan. CEO and Managing Director of Dhiraagu, Mr. Ismail Rashid. Director, Group CEO of Dialog, Mr. Supun Werasinghe. Senior Management of Ooredoo Maldives and Dhiraagu, distinguished guests, a very good and blessed day to all of you. Together with me, on behalf of the whole project team from Ooredoo, Dhiraagu, and Dialog, I thank you for this opportunity. I'm Roberto C. Concepcion Jr. from Ooredoo Maldives, Project Manager of the MSC project. Maldives Sri Lanka Cable, also known as MSC, is a repeated submarine fiber cable system of around 860 kilometers in length, laid between Hulmale in Maldives and Mount Lavinia in Sri Lanka, that will be used for the transport of our international services and traffic. The planning stage of this cable system commenced in 2019, during which the consortium members and suppliers went through each and every detail of the technical and commercial aspects of the MSC system. After a lot of meetings, brainstorming, and a healthy argument with the teams and vendors, we finally came to an agreement, and at the start of 2020, we formalized and kicked off the project. As we all know, 2020 has been a very challenging year for all of us, with the ongoing global pandemic. In both countries, Maldives and Sri Lanka, are greatly affected as well. During these trying times, the project delivery encountered a lot of challenges. I would like to extend many thanks for the overwhelming support to the project team by our respective senior management team. With the utmost cooperation of our vendor, Huawei Marine Networks, and Huawei International, we have conquered them one by one. Thank you, team. Today, as we complete the final stage of this project, I can say that at this very moment, we can see the light of a successful project, the light of a successful venture for both Maldives and Sri Lanka, and also I congratulate all members working on the project for this immense achievement. Thank you very much and have a great day ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Roberto. I'm certain having managed such an important project during the pandemic must have been a challenge. Nonetheless, a massive congratulations goes to each and everyone who have been involved in making it a success. Before proceeding, I would also like to acknowledge the presence of Group Chief Executive of Dialog AXIATA, Mr. Supun Weerasinghe, here with us today through a virtual link. He's also witnessing this event with us. Next, we have the most important item of the agenda to officially inaugurate the Maldives-Sri Lanka cable lane into the Maldives. To do the honors, I would like to invite our chief guest, Honorable Mr. Mohammad Malik Jamal, and Managing Director, CEO and Managing Director of Dhiraagu, Mr. Ismail Rashid, and Managing Director and CEO of Ooredoo, Mr. Najib Khan. Please, please. Thank you, Mr. Malik Jamal. Thank you, Mr. Ismail, and thank you, Mr. Najib, for doing the honors. Now I would like to call on stage Managing Director and CEO of Ooredoo Maldives, Mr. Najib Khan, to give his remarks.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Assalamu alaikum. I welcome Honorable Minister of Communication, Science and Technology. I also welcome Chief Executive Officer of Communication Authority of Maldives and CEO and MD of Dhiraagu, Mr. Ismail Rashid. Distinguished guests, my friends. It's an exciting day today, very exciting, because we are launching the third submarine cable into this beautiful country of the Maldives. This cable is going to enrich and diversify the existing capacity that is already in this country. You have seen this impact of internet-enabled technologies in this pandemic. And the core of this is a submarine cable of any country, because that takes the capacity out of the country. With joint investments from Dialog, AXIATA, from Dhiraagu, and also from Ooredoo, we invested in this cable. We thought about the diversity much earlier in 2019. With the support and encouragement from the ministry and the government of Maldives, as well as the regulator, CAM, over here, we embarked on this journey of discussing how to enable this diversity. And then we landed on the shores of Sri Lanka. Thankfully, Dialog and Supun, who's here with us, brought us together into this consortium so that we could jointly invest and bring capacity, enhance the capacity into the Maldives. This is an 8 terabyte per second cable. It's the fastest cable for the Maldives, 865 or 870 kilometers hereof, which means that it will now enable the future of the internet-enabled technologies. If you're talking about VR or AR or gaming or health or education or any such new technologies which are going to come, it will require immense amount of capacity. It will also require diversity, which means that we will be able to promise a 24/7 100% uptime on the capacity today. So we once again want to thank the project teams of the three companies coming together. It's not a mean task to get 3 project teams coming together to work on a project like this and making this possible. You know, from supply chain to people, everything was disrupted. But thanks to Huawei Marine and Huawei International, they were able to get the ship and we see the ship right now in front of us, the cable landing here already. It's a reality. And this, the teams have delivered while it was a pandemic, while everything was stopped, everything was closed. And you can imagine working through Sri Lanka, China, and also here. The teams came together and delivered a brilliant, brilliant job. So I think a big round of applause for the team if all of you are here to say that they have done a brilliant job. This wouldn't have been possible with the undaunting support of the Ministry of Communication, Science and Technology, and also our regulator, Mr. Ilyas Ahmed, as well as the support from the three companies, Dialog, Dhiraagu, and of course our Ooredoo team. Thank you to the CTOs of both these three companies who came together to design the network. Thank you, Tanwar, Firag, and also Mr. Pradeep and Mangala in Colombo, who really gave the leadership and the sponsorship to make this cable a reality. It's very exciting times for the Maldives. I can see a great future. You have set us on a path of the future which will take and get us new technologies for the citizens of the Maldives. Thank you very much, and I really appreciate your presence today. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Najib Khan, and once again, congratulations to you and your team. Now, let me please welcome CEO and Managing Director of Dhiraagu, Mr. Ismail Rashid, to give his remarks.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum, and a very good afternoon to all of you. I would also like to welcome Minister Mali and CEO of CAM, Ilyas, for joining this event, this momentous occasion where we make history for the Maldives. We are making history. This is a great milestone in the country's telecommunication history, as well as on our development path to make a digital Maldives. As Najib just now very enthusiastically said, our dependency on internet and internet-enabled technologies or digital services is becoming more and more. I think during the COVID pandemic, it has even emphasized that need as we became totally dependent on these services, these digital services, for our livelihoods. Whether it is education, whether it is socializing, it is entertainment, it is work from home, remotely working from home, or any other service that that we want to get, seeing a doctor, getting medical help. Everything required internet, and everything required broadband, and everything required some sort of a digital service. And this will continue. And it's very, very important as operators, as service providers. It is the most important for us to make sure that, especially during this kind of pandemic, but even otherwise, to make sure the service that we provide to our customers are uninterrupted, that we continue to provide that service without interruption, because those interruptions will mean their livelihood is affected. They will not be able to continue. It's as important as electricity or water now, the services that we provide. And the problem we currently have is we are dependent on, primarily Dhiraagu is currently today dependent on a single cable to Sri Lanka. Okay, we have some amount of diversity capacity on secondary cables. However, primarily we are dependent on one cable system. The current cable system is landing into Sri Lanka Telecom Colombo. It connects to multiple global systems from there. This opportunity, the MSC cable, gives us an opportunity to land the cable to a different location in Sri Lanka, in Mount Lavinia, which is sponsored by Dialog, AXIATA. And this will connect our country to a different global cable system, BBG. So that actually gives multiple opportunity for us to diversify our service. And that is why this project became so important. I'm very pleased. I think Najib has already highlighted the details as to how we came together. I'm very pleased that we have the opportunity to work together as a joint team to invest in this cable system. These cable systems does not come cheap. And for a country like Maldives, where we have limited scope, this investment is a huge investment, and therefore for us to be able to actually jointly invest gives a lot of benefit. It reduces the cost. At the same time, we are able to bring very high speed, very resilient service to our customers, and that is why this project is so important. I would like to extend my thanks to Supun as well, the CEO of Dialog, for his cooperation and sponsorship to bring both Ooredoo and Dialog together. We were both talking to Dialog individually about building a separate route to the Maldives, and I think Supun has the foresight to bring us all together, and today we are in a joint agreement and a construction and maintenance agreement to invest in this cable, and today we mark this important milestone on the project in landing the cable to the Maldives. It is already landed in Sri Lanka. It is connected to the cable station in Sri Lanka, in Mount Lavinia. Now it is landed in the Maldives. The next bit is the easy bit. The difficult part of the project is now over. So therefore, I would like to thank also the project teams, the joint project teams from Dhiraagu, Ooredoo, as well as the Dialog, who has been working very hard to deliver this project. This kind of project takes a lot of preparatory work to do. Actually, same amount of time is spent on preparing and planning the work, and a lot of our joint teams worked very hard. The legal teams, the procurement teams, and various other executive teams came together. A lot of discussions, lot of debate, and lot of arguments happened as well. And we are where we are today. We managed to get the project started, and now we have achieved this important milestone on the projects. So I think the fact that we have been able to complete this, do this throughout a pandemic, a global pandemic that has affected the supply lines, that has affected the livelihood of everyone, and with Huawei, from China, I think China was first impacted, and they were in a very bad situation at a very important time of the project, when the cable manufacturing had to be done. But I think they stood up, they did their responsibility, and I would like to thank Huawei for their diligence and their care in executing this project and bringing it to this milestone as well. The other parties I would like to thank is, as Najib also highlighted, submarine cable requires a submarine cable project requires a lot of regulatory approvals, not only from CAM but also from other regulatory bodies, environmental, customs, defense, many other authorities. I wouldn't be able to name all the authorities. The MPL, a lot of authorities require and we need their approval in order for us to be able to construct a project like this, because we are talking about an overseas cable coming into a country, and so that requires a lot of planning and a lot of approvals. And I would like to thank first of all CAM here and the ministry for the support they gave. They saw this as an important development for the country, important development for the people, an important milestone that will bring further development and prosperity to the people. So I would like to thank them for their foresight and for their kind approval in making things very easy for us. We didn't have any issues, we didn't have any roadblocks, and we were able to actually get things done very smoothly with the regulatory authorities. So thank you very much for that, Minister. Once again, I would like to say that this is not the end. We are, as Dhiraagu, we are still exploring ways of how we can further diversify our connectivity to the Maldives, our connectivity with the rest of the world. And we will be looking for ways as we actually try to enhance our digital portfolio to provide more services to our customers. We will be looking into further how can we further make our network more resilient, our connectivity more resilient and foolproof. So thank you very much for everyone. I wish you all, as we still continue to go through a global pandemic, and we are in the middle of a pandemic, I wish you all good health, your families good health, and please stay safe. Thank you very much. Wassalamu alaikum. Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Ismail Rashid, CEO and Managing Director of Dhiraagu. It is indeed unfortunate to have this celebration at the absence of some of the key stakeholders of this project. Due to the ongoing pandemic, management team of Dialog AXIATA, Sri Lanka, Huawei International and Huawei Marine were not able to join us today, although the teams have taken their time to join us virtually. Now, let me connect you all with the Group Chief Executive of Dialog AXIATA, Mr. Supun Veerasinghe. Mr. Supun Veerasinghe.
Thank you. Good afternoon to all of you, Honorable Minister of Communication, Science and Technology of Maldives, Honorable CEO of Communication Authority of Maldives, my dear friends from Ooredoo and Dialog, especially Mr. Ismail, CEO of Dhiraagu, Mr. Najib, CEO of Ooredoo, the project team from the two organizations and Huawei Marine, ladies and gentlemen. It's indeed a great pleasure to host Cable. I did my first visit to Maldives was in 2019 September, and then we initiated or we finalized this project then, and I'm very happy to see this project coming into reality, getting completed, connecting to our countries within a very short time of 15 to 18 months. This project, I think, is built on three fundamentals. First being trust between our parties, trust between Sri Lanka and Maldives, trust between our three organizations, transparency in terms of our transactions, agreements, because it is a long-term project where we have to rely on each other for the next 25 years. So transparency is really, really important to have a long-term project of this nature. Lastly, this also is made possible by great teamwork. I think as Najib and Ismail mentioned, this project, the teams have to work through lots of challenges. And there were so many reasons that we could have delayed this project. But with great teamwork, perseverance, and persistence, we were able to achieve this success today and get to completion as planned within this short 12-month time period. This was made possible by also great support from our partners, Huawei Marine, and also we must recognize the support that we have got from our regulators, both in Maldives, the Communication Authority of Maldives, and in Sri Lanka, the Board of Investments, the Coast Conservation Agency, the Ministry of Defense, the Telecommunication Regulatory Commission of Sri Lanka, and all those agencies have been really supportive to achieve this project as a project of national importance. Even in Sri Lanka, this is considered as a project of national importance, and then they made sure we are given all the approvals and the support from the government to achieve this completion on time, because this would further strengthen the bilateral relations between Sri Lanka and Maldives. As Sri Lankans, we have the highest regard and respect for Maldives as our neighbor, and I'm sure this project will further strengthen, because through this cable, we are now making sure that Maldives has a better access to the global internet and get a better access to the information and communications infrastructure that every citizen of Maldives will require going forward. I am very much thankful for giving Dialog an opportunity to host this cable in Sri Lanka to both Ooredoo and to Dhiraagu. And we look forward to continuing to build on this great relationship that we have forged, and look forward to working together in the years to come. Thank you very much. Wish you all the very best.
Thank you, Mr. Supun Veerasinghe. Next, we have a special video message from Mr. Liang Yi, CEO of Huawei International, and Mr. Justin Shu, Assistant Vice President of Huawei Marine. This is a recorded video message sent for this event.
Honorable Minister of Communication, Science and Technology Mohammed Malif Jamal, CEO of Communication Authority of Maldives, Ilyas Ahmad, CTO of Presidential Office, Hamid Shafi, CEO of Dhiraagu Ismail Rashid, CEO of Ooredoo Maldives, Najib Kohan, distinguished guests. Good morning. My name is Dong Liang. I'm the CEO of Huawei Sri Lanka and Maldives Company. I'm very glad to be welcome here on this memorable day. And on behalf of Huawei, I would like to congratulate our partners Dhiraagu, Ooredoo, and Dialog for a new international submarine cable landing on Maldives. Indeed, it's a key milestone in the business journey of a passionate operator with leading management and strategic vision. Congratulations. As you know that Dhiraagu and Ooredoo, leading operators in Maldives, not only provide operations services to the Maldives people, but also lead the development and transformation of the ICT industry. The new international submarine cable will not only improve Maldives' ability to connect to the international internet, provide faster speed, higher bandwidth, and better user experience for the citizen, and also better support for the infrastructure requirements of Maldives' digital economy transformation. I believe that the leadership of the Maldives government and the full cooperation of all operators, the digital economy of the Maldives will develop faster and bring more market space and social benefits. As the major partners of Dhiraagu and Ooredoo, Huawei has been working closely with partners to provide the best solution, equipment, and the latest technology to help our partners achieve greater business success and provide the best service experience for end users. As you know, Huawei founded in 1987, now is the leading global provider of information and communications technology infrastructure and smart devices. We have more than 200,000 staffs globally, and we operate in more than 170 countries and regions, serving more than 3 billion people around the world. Our vision and mission is to bring digital to every person, every home, and every organization for a fully connected, intelligent world. In order to achieve this target, more than 10% of annual sales reinvestment into R&D per year, and totally more than 600 billion RMB invested in R&D for past decade. As a leader in the ICT industry, Huawei has the ability and willingness to help our partners and the Maldives government to achieve digital transformation and build a fully connected, intelligent Maldives. Thank you and congratulations.
Distinguished customers from Ooredoo, Dhiraagu, and Dialog, and all distinguished guests from Maldives and Sri Lanka. I am Justin from Huawei Marine Networks. Currently, our project team is delivering the Maldives-Sri Lanka cable system, which is connecting Hulu Malay and Maldives-Lavinia. It is my great pleasure to witness this critical milestone of a new international submarine cable landing on Maldives, the most beautiful country and the best holiday paradise in the world. This project just took 10 months from contract signing to today's achievement. On behalf of our team, I'm seriously appreciative for all help and cooperation our customer had made during the whole delivery process under such challenging COVID-19 climate. The submarine cable telecommunication Huawei Marine provides for Maldives date back to year 2015. Our cooperation with Dhiraagu and Ooredoo, including relocation work of 3 submarine cables in Malay, including the capacity upgrading work between Maldives and Sri Lanka on existing cable, and also including a new built nationwide submarine backbone cable system, NASCOM. Huawei Marine has been committed to promoting the construction of the subsea communication infrastructure for Maldives and enriching people's communication and life by applying our advanced technologies of industry. Huawei Marine is and will always be an honest friend and a supporter of digital construction of Maldives by providing our innovative equipment, our customer solutions, and our quick response service. Finally, I hope and I believe this Maldives-Sri Lanka cable system can be completed successfully soon, which will help our customers achieving their expected commercial value and bring high capacity, low latency, and high reliability network service to all enterprise and residents. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Leon and Mr. Justin, for gracing the event from far. Now, I would like to invite our special chief guest for this evening, Minister of Communications, Science and Technology, Honorable Maldiv Jamal.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على خاتم الأنبياء والمرسلين سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. Mr. Ismail Rashid, CEO and Managing Director of Dhiraagu, my good friend Mr. Najib Khan, CEO of Ooredoo Maldives, Mr. Ilyas Ahmad, CEO of Communication Authority of the Maldives, senior officials of Dhiraagu and Ooredoo, and distinguished attendees, a very good evening and assalamu alaikum. So after listening to the wonderful speeches of the CEOs from Maldives, from Sri Lanka, from Dialog, Supun, and from Huawei as well, we know that not everything was on hold during this year. At least we have some good gifts as New Year presents. Once again, I thank all the crew of the ship and also the entire team for this wonderful project. Well, it is an honor for me to be here at this important ceremony to inaugurate the third submarine cable of the Maldives. On behalf of His Excellency, President Ibrahim Saleh, and on my own behalf, let me congratulate the management of Dhiraagu and Ooredoo for very successful completion of this remarkable project connecting Maldives with Sri Lanka via state-of-art submarine optic fiber cable. This cable project has been implemented in a very short time span, despite the many challenges we are facing in this pandemic. The role played by Internet has become even more prominent over the last few years as more and more people rely on digital services to do business and socialize themselves. And this year particularly, we have seen that Internet has been our life saver when COVID-19 locked all of us within the four walls of our houses. The government places an important emphasis on modernizing our infrastructure to position Maldives among the top countries in the region for a small developing country like Maldives, with just less than 500,000 people. Having 3 international submarine cable is indeed a remarkable achievement. In appreciating this key milestone, I would like to thank the service providers, Ooredoo and Dhiraagu, for their continuous commitment in strengthening the digital ecosystem of the country and making it much more resilient. This submarine cable, which connects Maldives and Sri Lanka, will greatly support the exponential increase in communication needs across all corners of the nation, creating avenues for innovative new services for the people of the Maldives. As we mark an important milestone in the telecom infrastructure development of the country, I am confident that with the successful completion of this project, we are paving way for further strengthen the digital infrastructure of our island nation and increase diversity from existing routes for digital traffic. As all of us have experienced, incidences on submarine cables and the consequent interruptions to communication services is not an uncommon thing. While this cable will increase diversity of internet traffic and internet connections, it will also provide an additional element of redundancy or backup in case of any incidences on the other submarine cables of the country. I am also sure that this will not be the last submarine cable to hit the shores of this beautiful country. The series of adding more cables into our international gateway network will continue in the future. And it is also my desire and vision that Maldives soon become an international hub, providing connectivity and capacity to other countries in the region as well. Maldives can be a top-class name not only in tourism, in international connectivity too. We can become a popular capacity seller and a transit hub. I would also like to note here that Ooredoo and Dhiraagu took forward this project with its own capital investment, relieving the government from any financial burdens of implementing the policy objectives of international connectivity. Clearly, this is a result of all of us working tirelessly together towards the development of the country. The ICT players of Maldives deserve a big round of applause for this. I am confident that with the support from you, the industry players, we can fast achieve our goals and objectives. Let me assure you that as the policy maker for the telecommunications sector of the Maldives, I will work to ensure that a conducive, competitive environment exists for all service providers to perform in a sustainable manner so that the ultimate goal of providing quality, affordable, and accessible services to the public will prevail. In conclusion, on behalf of the government of the Maldives and on my own behalf, let me once again thank the management of Dhiraagu and Ooredoo for their continuous efforts and initiatives to invest and develop the Maldives communication sector. Let me also thank Communication Authority of the Maldives, HDC, for their active role in working together with the service providers to successfully implement the policies of the government. Finally, let me thank you for inviting me to inaugurate this very important communication link, and I wish the ICT sector of the Maldives all the best. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Mr. Malay Jamal. Before I close the ceremony, I would like to take this opportunity to thank the Minister for taking time from your busy schedule to join us, celebrate yet another milestone achieved for the development of our nation. Thank you. Our special invitees, Chief Executive of Communications Authority of Maldives, Mr. Ilyas Ahmed, CTO of President's Office, Mr. Hamid Shafiu, for gracing the event with your presence together with our esteemed guests. A very special appreciation goes to the CEO and Managing Director of Dhiraagu, Mr. Ismail Rashid, Managing Director and CEO of Ooredoo Maldives, Mr. Najib Khan, the Group Chief Executive of Dialog AXIATA, Mr. Spoonveer Singh, for driving your respective teams with such dedication. We also thank teams at Huawei International and Huawei Marine for joining us here and from far. Last but not least, the whole project team at Dhiraagu, Ooredoo Maldives and Dialog Sri Lanka for completing this project, even with all the challenges you all faced along the way. A massive congratulations to all of you. Like our internet service operators have highlighted today, you have given us all the confidence that this project will help enhance network diversity and provide increased capacity for the people in the Maldives. On that note, I will close the ceremony. Once again, thank you and a good evening.